我们有点兴奋。
没关系的，
嗯，
我已经啊，我已经穿了一些衣服吧。
可能因为你不穿衣服，没有很多人看，是不是？
可以
有点
看了，
兴奋。
真的没关系。
嗯，你
现在呢，
关注我，
能看见我吗？
可以看到你关注我们的那个 YouTube channel 了吗？你知道 Ghost 的 YouTube channel 吗？
我不确定。其实，说实话，我没有空看那些关于中文的视频什么的。以前可以啊，但是
嗯哼，
现在我只是用Do Chinese 这个 APP 学习。
你
呃，
就用 Do Chinese 学习，那你也在学，
对对，
你也在学越南语吗？还是没有，只在学中文？
请再说一遍，我没明白老师的意思。
啊，你也在，你也在学习越南语吗？还是只学中
啊，
文？嗯，
其实我昨天开始的，我是
已
昨
经开始了。
天开始的。
啊，
对，但是我现在强调找工作、找房子，然后学习中文，继续
嗯
学习汉语，对
嗯
吧？我觉得越南语呢，呃，现在不太重要了。我就是慢慢来，就昨天开始，就昨天我是开始学习的，所以说现在不太重要了，老师明白我的意思吗？
就没中文那么重要，还是？
对，没中文那么重要，还有没有找工作、找房子那么重要，对吧？
嗯，那你现在住在哪儿？如果你没有房子的话，是
是我的朋友家，
在你的朋友家。
对，
明白。嗯哦，那你学习
我
汉语多长时间了？
差不多5年了，
5年了。
嗯。
你是为什么想学习汉语？刚开始的时候。
因为以前我住在北京，所以说，开始学习汉语的时候，我的学习的目标就是，日常生活中，
嗯
能办事，能存在，生活比较方便，然后呢，我就一直在学习，每天都几个小时学习。
嗯哼，这么努力，然后呃，你是怎么学的呢？在北京，你有去一个学校吗？
是在那个中国矿业大学学习的，在语言大学旁边儿。
嗯，在语言大学旁边。我也在北
嗯
京待过几年。对，我知
啊，
道。
是吧？在哪一所学校？哪一所大学？
北京外国语大学，你知道吗？
北京外国语大学。
对，
不是海淀区的，应
是海
该是
淀区的，
啊，是海
在
淀区的，真的吗？
对，在人民大学的旁边。
人民大学的旁边，我知道。
嗯嗯。对，就是我在那边学习怎么教汉语和
嗯
就是和英语这2个专业。所以
啊，
啊，应该在北语成立之前，就是北京外国语大学它的语言特别是教汉语是最厉害的。当
嗯
然后来语言大学它就比较的专业。就是它专门
嗯，
变成了希望帮助外国人在中国学习。
我明白了。
嗯。
怪不得老师的英语说的那么好，在
你的马屁也拍的不错。
没有拍马屁，我不是那个马屁精是吧？
马屁精，马屁精。
马屁精啊，我说错了，对对对，马屁精。
嗯
呃， 因为上次老师说英语说的挺好，不是吗？
哦，对，我觉得也还不错，我同意。因为我们其实很想多说汉语，但并不是所有人的水平都能听懂汉语，所以，大多数
嗯
人其实他还是希望是你可以让他听懂，对不对？因为这不是一个课，他是来学
嗯，
习
明白
tips，
了，
来学习一些技巧，所以
明白了。
我们才采用这种双语的形式，就是我们一个
嗯
老师说英语，一个老师说汉语，这样子的话，水平高的他可以多听一些汉语，水平低的他也可以就是做一些就是输入，对不对？就是对他来说
嗯
也是有用的，虽然他可能只能听懂几个词。嗯
嗯，有道理，有道理。我还记得在那个 chat 里面，
嗯
有一些外国朋友，嗯，打的是英语，所以说我完全明白。
嗯
对我来说，我最喜欢上汉语课的时候，我最喜欢的就是，如果老师教汉语
你说
的时候教
中文。
的教的
嗯
只是用汉语的，对吧？
嗯明白。
但是
对
是像老师刚才说的，这不是一节课，对吧？所
对。
以说
嗯
我完全明白。
好，谢谢立文跟我们聊这么多，我们欢
嗯
迎一个新的人加入
嗯，
Eric。嗯
呃，早上好，
，Eric 你好。
你好，你
，Eric
好，
的
嗯
家非常漂亮。我说你的
啊
家，非
其实就是
常漂亮。
不是，就是我在工作，
哦，
其实
在
一样漂亮，我要告诉我的老板，是，对对对，
你在工作的时候，不是在你的
对
办
对对对，
公室。嗯
对啊对啊，
嗯
是这样，对的，
嗯，Eric
嗯，
你在哪里？你可以介绍一下自己吗？
我在丹麦，我是丹麦人。
嗯，
就在一点儿北方的哥本哈根，
哥本哈根。
嗯，哥本哈根，对对啊，和我就在跟我的妻子和我们的两个孩子，在我们的
哦，
家里，我
嗯，
们也有3只狗，我们
这个，
对，我们很喜欢宠物，我觉得，嗯，和我学习过汉语差不多3、4年，呃，
嗯，
差不多啊，
好，
但是我不知道怎么样说，有的时候我用很多时间，有的时候我没有一样多时间用学习汉语，嗯
明白。你的时间不太
嗯。
规律，就
对对，不太规律，因为工作，当然这可以影响我的学习努力的情况啊。
那你为什么想学汉语呢？
其实本来是因为我们的公司在深圳有一个怎么样说小公司，
啊，
因为我们卖我们的产品在中
嗯
国，但是我们也想在中国我们想我们的产品，嗯。所以我觉得可能就是很好笑，如果我可以直接跟我们的同事说话，在中国，
嗯
和之后我觉得其实说学习汉语变成我的爱好一样，我觉得。其实我也很喜欢学习语言，所以我也学习法语和汉语，特别
多语言学习者。
对对对对对对对，
所以你会说丹麦语肯定对不对？然后英语肯
丹麦
定大。
语、英语一点儿，德语比较多，法语和也汉语比较，
哦，非
嗯，
常好。那待会儿
这就是我的
都可以说一
爱好，
说不同语言的
嗯
发音有什么不同，可以给我们做一
嗯嗯
些补充。好
嗯，
的，
对啊，
谢谢 Harry。然后我们看到新
谢谢，
的人加入是
嗯。
啊a f o n 是吗？还是 Ifan？嗯 Evan 应该是 Evan， Evan 你要说说话吗？你要让大家看看你吗？
是，你好，贤福。
你好 Evan，你要介绍一下你自己吗？
什么？
你要告诉我们你是
现在是
谁吗？
因为我学习汉语，因为在这个印尼和新加坡马来西亚在东南亚是第三的意思，中文
然后在新加坡、印尼、马来西亚，中文是很重要的语言。
是。
好的，谢谢 Evan，非常好，谢谢你们。然后呢，我们有一个问题，现在你们可以想一想，你们在你们的对话框里用中文写好不好？我们有一个问题，大家可以来想一下这个问题是今天因为我们要聊口音嘛，口音，发音口音，所以我相信大家都觉得自己的口音可能还不是特别好还不是特别好那有哪些你们觉得是让你觉得不够好让你觉得受挫，让你觉得 frustrated 的地方？可以想一想，然后打在这个对话框里面给我们，好不好？
和我们写我们的答案，或者我们说我们的
请你们写你们的答案，用中文写。
OK，
请你们写你们的答案当然，如果like we're welcome if like other people want to type in English, that's also okay.
OK，
安东尼，我去看一下。
我们有其他的朋友去了别的 Zoom 里面那但
我
你去那个
去看一下。
Zoom 给他们一个新的链接吧。
好的。
这是为什么？但是 Harry、利伦和放都来的是这里。我看一下，我们有其他的学生和朋友，他们去了另外一个 Zoom， 我让他们来我们这个 Zoom。好，我看到 Henrik 写了 ，Henrik 说我自己不知道我的汉语发音好不好这个其实是很多人的问题，对吧？因为你自己不是 native speaker，不是母语者，然后你不知道，就很多人他是不知道怎么去认识自己的发音，就是 evaluate 和 identify the wrong things 对，因为可能如果是你的同事你的老板，他们不好意思说你的发音不好，对不对？非常非常好很多外国人说你好，然后大家就说哇好，非常非常好，是不是？觉得是不公平的。嗨，我们看到有很多新的人加入， 有 Lina ，Lina Maria，Lina 可以跟大家打个招呼吗？你在哪里？
大家好，
那你学习汉语多久了？
我在德国。
在德国。然后你学习汉语多久了？你为什么学习汉语
？Sorry.
How long have you been learning Chinese and why you started?
I have learned for 4 months.
4个月so welcome. Like you're still like a fresher, very fresh, eh? And very excited. I guess. 非常好。
你好 Sappy。
还有我们看到
Hi, 你好。
So today we're still going to follow all the GOSI event format. We're going to be bilingual. So one host will speak in Chinese and the other host speak in English. And the content will be similar. So you can get comprehensive input, like which means like you will get the meaning, but like you try to listen to the Chinese part. If you're either beginner or advanced, it will be very helpful. Then, so I'll speak English and then she will speak Chinese.
我今天会说中文啊。我们今天的活动会有中文，也会有英文，所以我们会有不同级别的学生都可以听得懂。
好，I'm going to wear more people. Michael ，Michael 你好然后Laura
你好
Michael
你好 Laura。
Michael, do you want to say something?
No, I learned for 4 months as well Chinese.
也是4个月 4 months. 非常好
Exactly.
非常好，然后 Laura 你好Hi Laura
你好我是
You wanna
美
say
国
something?
人，我住在纽约。
美国人纽约非常好
很好早上好。
然后我看到有我们的老朋友 Seppi 对不对Seppi 有新朋友，所以你也介绍一下自己吧。
我有一个问题，上个星期的 PPT，我们可以看到哪里？
我们应该已经
上
发给你
个星期
了。
上个星期的 PPT 用 email 发给你了 Sappy。
but I cannot find it， 我不知道。
你没看到好的。
对。
好，那我今天再发给你一遍。
OK， via email 对。
对，发你的 email。
谢谢。
好的然后我们欢迎一下 Sarah Sarah 你要介绍一下你自己吗？
你好，我叫 Sarah。我已经学习中文2年多了。
2年多了Sarah，我想请你帮一个忙，因为你刚刚你说有很多其他的人在别的 Zoom 里面对吗？我不知道你还能再去别的 Zoom 里面等一下看一下有没有其他的人，然后告诉他们应该来听。
我们有一个new 人，他现在我觉得他没she didn't understand that we have another link。我觉得
明白OK， 所以我们可能请 Sarah 帮一下忙，原来你进去的那个 Zoom 再去看看如果有别的人，请他们来这里。
好的
谢谢 Sarah。好，我们有新的，我们看到有美玲美玲应该是很晚对不对？我记得美玲在澳大利亚。美玲你好然后我们有我们的 Lexi 陈老师欢迎陈老师第一次来然后我们还有新的Hammett 欢迎 Hammett。对，欢迎你们然后我们有一个问题我们开始以前所以So I'm going to speak English from now. So this is GOST of the 4th event last year. So we're going to do like now it's bi-weekly, but soon maybe weekly event to help the global Chinese learner community. to know more like tips and techniques and more way to learn Chinese. And today we're going to focus on pronunciation.
今天的这个活动是我们 Go East 今年的第4个活动啊。我们现在是每2个星期都会有线上活动，但是后面我们会把它变成每个星期都有活动。那我们希望可以帮助大家能够练习你们的中文，也可以帮助你们了解更多的中国文化。所以我们欢迎大家每一次都来参加我们的活动。今天我们来一起讲发音的主题。
And today we're super excited because this is the first time we're going YouTube live streaming. So hi, people from YouTube. I saw there was like 8 people watching now. So
今天是我们第一次的 YouTube 直播，所以我们非常的开心。
Yeah. So we're going to like interact with like those more learners. So I have first a warm-up question for everyone, and I know Henrik already answered. So let's look at others like answers. So you can write either in English or in Chinese, whatever the way you are comfortable with.
这个是我们今天的第一个问题，大家可以把你的答案写下来，写在我们的 chat box 里面，中文、英文都可以。
Oh, I saw a few answers. So Henrik, the problem is like he actually doesn't know if his pronunciation is good or not. I guess it's like he doesn't have honest feedback from his colleague or friends. Like that's what he's wondering. And also his thinking tones are a bit tricky.
Evan 说声调。大家都说声调。
都是声调哦，大家都是说声调 tones 声调还有 Laura 说我说的很慢我说的很慢 like not fast enough 我说的很慢Seppi 说我也想一样我也想的一样我也想的一样很好好的So those are all like a really good like common mistakes and like we actually asked a lot of Go students and before like they join the Go is like one of the biggest challenging for them is actually they don't have the confidence their lack of the confidence to speak Chinese fast and naturally
我们很多学生都觉得自己说的不够快，可也不够流利。
And then we actually summarized a few like more of application common mistakes when you're speaking Chinese. So basically there are those 4. So the common frustrations we have from the Goist students. First is like they feel like people don't really understand them because like their incorrect pronunciation. Or sometimes they're not confident. They don't know, like what Henrik said, if I have good pronunciation or not. Does that sound like that? So they're like they have a feeling of awkwardness, which like hold back them from like speaking more. And the third one is like because their pronunciation, or like you said, not fluent enough, speak very slowly. So it's always just small talk or very superficial talks. The conversation never lasts that long. So never go to a deep conversation. And the fourth one, which like more for advanced learners or like people who actually have a need to fit in to social in the work environment or family like situations. They feel like they're not taken in seriously enough. So people like don't really take you into those kind of very business related or connection making social events. Like with like Chinese people. So those are the 4 ones.
对像我们总结出有很多常见的困扰，就是大家的发音不太标准，其他人听不懂，或者是因为你的发音、你的语音不是很清楚，你觉得有点尴尬。 因为还有我们在对话的过程中，因为对话永远都是很短的，说的不够多，没有办法进行深入的交流。那还有就是因为你作为一个汉语学习者，在工作、在社交场合，大家不够重视你，所以很多情况下没有把你加入他们的社交和商务的对话当中。
And I know like you have shared the same frustration. I saw people say exactly 我就是这样。And I know like tone is very difficult. But if we want to overcome those frustrations, actually, today I'm going to tell you, tone. I'm going to give you a whole new perspective about tones, and I'm going to share with you the two things you really need to focus on to over all those frustrations and to speak natural and relaxed Chinese, and most importantly, to speak in confidence. So today, I'm going to share with you to focus on those two aspects, all the tips and techniques like summarized from our ghost teachers based on the last 10 years of teaching. So what do you need to improve when we're talking about your pronunciation? The most important is improve sentence flow. I'm going to illustrate later what does sentence flow mean. And then if like you already improved sentence flow, but you have like some foundation problems, then let's go back to improve the foundation, the Chinese alphabets.
今天公益的老师总结了很多的一些小的技巧和方法，来帮助大家提高你们的汉语、你们的发音。那今天主要有2个部分，一个呢是帮助你提高你的语流，还有一个部分呢是帮助你的基础，你的中文的发音基础。
Okay, so let's see. When a native speaker say like, oh, I don't feel like your sentence flow is natural, is good enough. I don't feel like you're a Chinese pro speaker. You have the accent. What does it really mean, right? Like, what does that really mean? So from a linguistic perspective, actually, there's 4 things talking about when you're talking about that. One is actually tone. That's the one. So Chinese is a tonal language, which means the pitch and the tone significantly change the meanings, right? But today I'm going to tell you to let go of the tones, because in a sentence flow, the tones are very different from the idealized tones you've learned individually when you first start learning.
大家都知道，声调在汉语中是非常重要的。那今天呢，我老师的分享会告诉你，在你真正的 sentence flow， 在你的语流中，你的发音不一定就是非常标准的发音，它会有一些变化。所以今天我们会一起来看一下。
And the second one, actually, when we talk about sentence flow, is about stress. And the main characteristics of Chinese language is we're a lack of stress. So which means like in English, right? Like you have the stress accent. So every syllable would pronounce if the syllable pronounced differently, then there's different meaning. But in Chinese, it's the opposite. Actually, every syllable is pronounced with roughly the same amount of emphasis. So if you give some certain words different emphasis, then it doesn't feel that native in Chinese.
中文中的重读我们的重音是不是很明显？所以我们怎么样把我们的语流提高？那我们今天就会一起来看一下。
And the third one, actually, when we talk about sentence flow, is pauses or segments. So that's like a lot of people say Chinese people speak very quickly. That's why, because Chinese chunks of phrases is not what you think. we actually, all those words goes together into the clusters rather than separating from individual words. So although when you learn Chinese, it's word by word, but when you speak, actually, a sentence or a clause of sentence or a kind of like a bundle of meaning, that's just one chunk. You do not take pause. You do not stop there. So that's why.
我们的在中文里面，断句非常的重要。你怎么样把句子分成一个部分一个部分，所以也是语流的基础。
And the last one, I'm going to talk about the particles, the sentence final words, which is actually very important because that one conveys the attitude or like the change of subject in Chinese. So it really affects the flow of the language. So that's something, instead of tones, that's something you need, if you work on a bit extra of time, it immediately improve your fluency and the feeling of you being a native.
在每一个句子，在中文中，每一个句子后面会有一些语气词，会有一些助词，它可以帮助你能展现出你不同的态度、不同的语气。它比相对于声调来说，语句的结尾的助词非常的重要。
So let's now break this into one by one. So first one, let's talk about better tones, right? Because you guys all said, tones are so important and so difficult. Like, is that why Chinese people think I'm a foreigner? I have the 口音, the accent. So I want to tell you, like, right, tones are very important. And right, when we learn tones, it's an idealized tones. Like let's showing here, right? You guys must be very familiar with it. All those pictures and then how it's flat, how it's rising up and down. So it shows like the chart like here. But one thing, keep in mind, this is idealized tones in isolation.
这张图大家应该都很熟悉了吧？这张图呢是标准的声调发音那但是这个是我们觉得应该每一个声调是怎么读的，但是呢，我们在一个语句中，它可能会有一些不一样。
Okay, so next point, next slide. Okay, keep your eyes open. That's the first key thing you can take away from today's event. In real speech, in connected speech, when you really speak, what those tones, like they bump into each other, like clustered, what they really look like. Okay, I'm going to reveal the truth to you now. It looks like less. Okay. So different from what you learned, the idealized ones, eh? But this is the real speech. We're talking about real life. So when you're in real speech, your tones tend to be less exaggerated and more subtle, particularly the third tone. So as a result, this chart I showed here, it's the real tone, which you can adapt in your real speech. So let's see, the first tone, the pitch is the same, but it's actually much shorter, right? Like it's like, it doesn't goes like E, no, it's an E, E. Okay, so that's how you can speak faster as well. Okay, and then the second tone is the most similar to the idealized one. It's still rising up, but it's also much shorter. So when you say things like Wang, my surname Wang, so like it's not a Wang, it's Wang. Okay, still shorter. Okay, very subtle. And the last one, the third tone, it changed the most. Oh my God, like why we spend so much time learning the third tone, and in real life, it just changed every time you meet it. So this one, I want you to tell it let go. It's actually quite subtle, like a quite low pitch. And so for example, the two words you use the most might be 我, right? 我, 你. In real life, it never goes to be so stretched. it's much shorter and subtle. It's actually 我. Okay, listen to this 我 or like 你 你们好 你. Okay, it's almost flat and low pitch. Amazing, eh? Like that. And then the fourth one is the bossy one. And it falls down as well. But one thing is like also usually it will be affected if it's in a question as well. So it's also like kind of like you need to put less focus on that. 好，that.
相信大家看了这张图一定很吃惊吧？我们之前学的很标准的发音，其实在日常的对话中，我们在说话的过程中其实是不一样的。相信第3个声调大家一定觉得，哎，它怎么是这样因为它在我们真正的语流中，它变得非常的轻，并没有特别的拉长，所以呢，它跟我们平时说话过程中应该是更像这张表里面的声调。
非常好。So okay, take a good look at this one. I just find out like on YouTube Live, there is someone we know came to say hi. Then I'm going to say hi to them. Okay, so I'm going to give you just a simple example, but to feel about it. Okay, so when you first introduce yourself, let's say someone, right, like something you always use, right, something you picked up from level 1, even you learned just for 4 months, you would say, you will learn this, right? Hello everyone, my name is. So like with the idealized tone, it will be 大家好，我叫王蓉. Okay, everything is perfect, but it's not natural Chinese speech. And that's our target when you communicate. So listen to my real saying when I'm like actually walking to like a room full of Chinese. I would say, 大家好，我叫王蓉. Or even I don't want to post there, like because it's just one kind of information I want to present. So it will be 大家好，我叫王蓉. So okay, I want to point out a few sound here. The first one is just one, the 大 and listen to my like in the real speeches 大家 okay 好大家好 it's not 好 it's 好 and then the one I emphasized already before 我 instead of 我 is 我叫王大家好我叫王蓉 okay feel the difference? We'll go back to more examples afterwards. I just want first to illustrate the demo a little bit.
大家听了 Emily 的她的例子，是不是觉得好像说的还是很快，没有非常的重读，对不对？如果大家说的话，应该会是怎么样呢？我们还会有更多的例子给大家展示。
I see like people from YouTube give the comments like, this is eye-opening. Great, this is exactly the effect I want to have here. Thank you. Okay, so keep like following me. There's more things, more secrets I want to share with you. Okay, and the second one, the stress. I'm going to like the stress just to remember. The Chinese is lack of stress. So every word actually enjoy the same emphasis. It's not like in the English, like you actually really put like a present is different. It's in Chinese, everything comes the same. But the one I want to focus here also to share with you the internal secrets, like people only experienced teachers know those kind of things is about the pauses or where to to stop. Okay, so Chinese is fast. Yes, like compared to all the languages, Chinese is relatively fast-paced language. How fast it is. Okay, so write this down. So if you really want to go to a bilingual native level, your words need to be 150 to 200 because people's personality differs, right? Like some are just more like calm, some are just like da. But this is the common range, 150 to 200 words. compared to English, usually if you're a faster speaker, it's around 150 words, but that's the bottom line for Chinese speaking. Hey, sorry, 不好意思. So like remember this. But how can you achieve that? We actually have tips or techniques you can use. Okay.
好，这个地方呢是我们的在讲那个，在一个句子中的停顿，所以它对于你的表达、你的流利是否表达的自然非常的重要。
So those ones. So first, I want to tell you, how can you speak Chinese much faster, like a native speaker? It's like the one thing is like I also demonstrated before, like you use less pausing and the segmentation when you speak. So don't do like 我去年 no, it's not never like that. Okay, so it like goes together like that. And then second is like like also like just like it's just continuous flow of the speech, like less pause as well. And then where do we actually pause in Chinese when you have a paragraph?
中文的
The pauses only occur at the end of like phrase, like I showed before, 大家好, that one you can pause, but 大家 and 好 you can't. Or like even a sentence. And then also in a long speech, you can actually have pauses, for example, for sure, but it's actually briefer than English for sure. And then why do you do that? It's only when you want to change the topics or you want your listener to respond. So those are the situations you can use pauses. I'll give you examples soon.
在断句的过程中，因为中文的语速非常快，所以呢，你在断句的时候，我们不会断得很快，也不会断得很多。我们一般会在想要换话题这样的情况下，才会断句断的比较多。
Yeah. So so example, okay? So example is very important. I'll give you a simple one as well. So for example, this one, right? I want to thank you guys to participate in this event. So this would be the Chinese one. So the real Chinese word to post, the only post here is a comma actually. Like if it's the real native speaker, because the first one is one character. Although like if you see in the pinyin, right? Because pinyin shows like words, but words are not the real process. So I'm going to present here, like the real native speech would just be 谢谢大家来参加这次活动，我真的非常高兴. Okay, so it's like that. But there's more poses if you can use if you're a beginner or you just want to show like you really care about something, you want to emphasize something or give the audience a bit of like time to really feel your feeling. So the two more poses you can give here. So as a lower level, not native speaker, like if you're beginner or intermediate, you can pose here. 谢谢大家. Okay, so thank you all. 谢谢大家来参加这次活动。我真的 okay, 真的 because like you want to say like the really, right? 我真的非常高兴. Okay, so that's the target you want to target. Okay, don't be cheated by the pinyin. You can do 谢谢大家来参加这次活动，我真的非常高兴。不可以. That's not the standard you're looking at. If you can train yourself from the very beginning, especially those ones you only studied for 4 months, that'd be very helpful. So the lowest target for yourself would be 谢谢大家来参加这次活动，我真的非常高兴。And if you are the advanced ones, like the one I already talked to, right? Like Elan and Herrick, like you need to focus on this. 谢谢大家来参加这次活动，我真的非常高兴。
好，Emily 给到大家的这些例子， 里面表达了不同的情绪。那如果你是高级的学习者、中高级的学习者，你可以尝试着用第一个句子的这种断句如果你是初学者你可以尝试着用第二个句子这种方式，可以短短的比较多的断句来表达你的感谢。大家千万不要被拼音带着走，对，一定要从一开始学习的时候就学会去断句，这样可以帮助你说的更加自然。
Okay, so the last one, the last thing, the next point slide, you also want to keep it. It's like I said to let go of tone, right? Because the tone just slipped away in language. But what you can focus to make people, what are the tricks to make people feel like, oh my God, this one is really native level, right? So there's a few words you want to focus on. The words I just mentioned, like when you start, like 大家好的. The words like you used like millions of times, 你,我, those ones you have to focus on to really practice. And the next ones is actually to really understand the particles in the end of sentence. They are very important as well. Now, so what are the particles? It's the words like you learned from the very beginning, the ma word, the a word, the ne word, the ya word, ma word again. So those ones, the key thing to make it like a native speaker is that it's actually very soft and unstressed as well. That's the first tip to keep in mind. Of course, before that is also you need to use those words in your speaking. This is a words like to help you bring to another level. So that's the first one, like, and then when you speak it, speak soft and unstressed. And then the third one, the more advanced one, is pay attention. Like the words like a and ya would be connected to the preceding sounds and change its pronunciation.
对，接下来一个非常重要的就是我们刚才说的语气，在句子的结尾的语气词。那这些语气词呢，平时都是比较轻，不需要去重读的一些音节，它会帮助你但是它这些词就是我们之前学过的，最开始学的妈、呀这样的词汇。所以把它加在句子里，可以让你的语表达更加的自然。
Okay, so let's look at the first one. Like, what are the usage? Like, how can you add those words in your sentence? So what do they really mean? So this one is like you need to. The first one is very easy, right? The ma used to turn a sentence into a question, so you use this ma. And the ne, like 你呢, 你妈妈呢, means 你妈妈在哪里? So 你现在怎么样呢? Used to ask about someone or something's whereabouts or their current situations. So like remember to use this one. And is also very, very well used. Is to express surprise or sudden realization of something, or just to express you're truly happy about something as well. And this one is like sometimes like instead of saying the yes, right, in Chinese, 对, you will say 对, like you will put a there, but it's not 对 it's 对啊. Okay, connected, right? The 对, the D-U-I, the E and the R sound is connected. It's a little bit like 呀, 对啊, 对啊. Okay, so from now, instead of saying 对, you can say 对啊, 对啊, like it's more native. And the next one is the 吧, it's used to suggest something or just to soften a command. 你会来的吧? You will come, right? 你会来的吧? And then 呀 is also used to express the excitement or surprise. 真的呀? 真的呀? So keep using those words, okay? Like it will make you feel like those small ones really immediately help your like the natural and the native level to a new one. And the last one, the ma, that's ma, the same pronunciation but different characters. It's to indicate that something is obvious. 就是嘛, it is like that. 很容易嘛. This is so easy, okay? Like 很容易嘛.
我们现在看到的这些 语气词都是最常见的几个。这些语气词可以帮助你帮助你去结束一个对话，结束一个句子，也可以帮助你更自然的去表达。所以这些声音都很轻，那基本上都是和前面一个音节有连在一起的。像刚才 Emily 说的，对吗？是呀，都是要和前面的音节是连在一起的。
Okay, so I know like those 4 aspects. It's like something very new to you, and then how I give you some examples as well. Well, actually, I have a homework for you. Oh, not homework. A fun task, a fun task for you after this like event. Is we actually have a video we made, using celebrity speaking Chinese as examples. So it's like and our teacher reacted to that. So like watch somebody evaluate somebody else's pronunciation might give you another perspective to understand how native see your pronunciation. So I recommend you to use this like the structure I give you, right? The flow of sentence, that's what the teachers are really emphasize. So there's no stress, okay? Where to post, a lot of posts like really suck because they're performing, right? So they were like, wow, like things like that. 今天很高兴, and you know it's like it's a shortcut. It's to perform here. Like you can speak Chinese. It's not like you can really speak Chinese. So like to watch that video on our YouTube channel. And then like that's your fun task to use the things you already learned to analysis their pronunciation. And then you can look back at your own pronunciation. Yeah, of course, yeah, those will be like this. They're helpful. Okay, thank you, Dan. I already post a link here, and you can post a link on the YouTube live as well. So that's a fun task. But now I'm going to give you something besides that you can practice every day, even you don't have a teacher, to help yourself to improve those kind of like fluency. It's something I know a lot of people learn a lot of like language already. So this applies to other language too, but also I'm going to tell you what to pay special attention when you learn Chinese. It's something I don't know if you heard about it. It's called imitation technique. 你们知道吗? Imitation technique.
要模仿。
对，就是模仿技巧。So there's 4 steps. Okay, there's 4 steps. I'm going to explain to you here. So it starts with listen, 听, listen, and then repeat. And then the 3rd step is the most important, the feedback step. And then the last one, shadow. And then you will do that again. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you one by one what does this mean. Some it comes very intuitional, like you see it, you will understand it. So the first step of the imitation technique is called listen, 听. It's just like listen carefully to the target language, which is Chinese here being spoken. And the trick here is like you need to have something like incomprehensible to you, which means like that's something you can understand, not something totally unrelated, or it's just so difficult to you.
第一步呢是非常重要的，就是模仿。第一步呢就是听你的这个目标语言，你想要学习的这个语言，然后你可以通过听录音啊，或者是开视频，然后和母语者交谈，然后来多多的去听。
Okay, so this one, pay attention to your choice of the materials. Okay, so, and then the second one, repeat. It's after you listening to that, you trying, like you stop it, and you trying to imitate the flow of the language. Like the flow of the language, we just said, right? Pay attention to the kind of really less is exaggerated, very subtle tones. Pay attention to there's no stress. Pay attention to there's like no pauses, where to really pause, and pay attention to all those like particle words in the end. So those are the things you need to pay attention to when you actually repeat what you listened. And here, the very important thing is like you need to keep repeating because like the picture shows here, learning language has some similarity to like for training your muscle, because when you speak, those are muscles too. So the muscles like need to be comfortable in certain positions as well. So you need to develop this ability for your muscle to that position quickly.
这第二步呢，就是要重复。所以你在听完了这些你的目标语言之后呢，所以你需要不断的去重复，然后呢，帮助你的肌肉、你的发声肌肉去训练，它就像健身一样。然后呢，要不断的去练习，然后帮助你去模仿发音的这些准确性。
Oh, Albert has a very good like question here. It's very difficult to find a comprehensive material on a beginner or even intermediate level. Yeah, that's really correct. So the first one would be your textbook, right? Although it's a bit boring, but it's like the suitable for your level, and like the audio comes with the textbook. And the second, if you have a teacher, like ask your teacher to provide you with lots of extended materials created by them or the school. Like the school will have tons of resources like at Go East. So just ask them to give you the access. And then if you don't have a teacher or like that, remember our last workshop, right? ChatGPT, tell ChatGPT like your level, like your hobby, and then ask them to create something like your level and put it into a AR like a text to audio thing, which like might be like not so good now, but like also you can use that one to ask a native speaker to read that to you once and record. Oh, you missed the lecture. Okay, we have a recording on YouTube. Okay, you can go for that part. Yes. Okay, so this is the listen and then repeat. And then the third one, that's very important, is feedback. It's like how do you know what you repeat? It's exactly the same as what you listen, right? That's the one. So let's like if you have a teacher, that's the best because the teacher can provide the feedback immediately and using the language like the framework, right? So it's very helpful. If not, one thing is to record. If you don't have a teacher, to record what you said and try to compare and to ask somebody else to compare for you, even if they don't understand the language. So to get this kind of feedback. Yeah. And then the fourth one is, sorry, yeah, you go first.
那第三步是最重要的部分，就是你需要得到反馈。那在你学习的这些语言之后呢，如果你可以从老师或者是你的语言伙伴那里得到一些反馈，然后呢，知道自己需要改正的地方是什么。如果你没有老师或者是说母语的好朋友，你也可以把自己的发音、你的读音录下来，然后呢，自己去对比去听哪些地方不一样，哪些地方需要改进。
And the last one is shadow. So this is the one when you know you really are successful after so many times like repeat and getting the feedback. So what does shadow mean? It's like when you listen and speak simultaneous, right, at the same time. So you can follow what the native speaker, like you just like a shadow, right? So you like you to speak at the same speed, the same level, the same tones, the same flow, everything.
对，第四步呢叫做，用中文来说应该是影子模仿，叫做影子模仿。所以你就是在听的这个过程中，你要不停的重复，你要跟在它的后面去重复，然后呢，不断的去练习，可以慢慢的发展，变得更快，然后读说的更流利、更快，然后你包括这些语言慢慢就会变成你自己的内容。
对，这里的中文关键词是同时，就是这个你听的这个材料他说的同时，你也在说啊，关键词是同时。And then So how to use this one by yourself? Like, of course, if you're doing class, the teachers are using this, or like a use of like kind of variations, like more subtle method of this. But how can you do it by yourself? I'm going to use one of like our Beyond series video on YouTube to practice with you, to show you how to do that. So we're talking about materials, right? We have 247 Beyond class videos on our YouTube channel, which is very suitable for, like the most suitable for lower intermediate, high beginner, lower intermediate to advanced learners. But if you're a beginner, like besides your total beginner, I think it's also good to use this to challenge yourself a little bit. So let me show you how to use that. So for example, this is one of the one, it's very fresh, modern language and very entertaining as well. So let me show you how to use that by yourself. So this is one of the episode. It's called 打脸, which means like you actually, what you just said, you negated it yourself. You do the totally opposite thing. So it's the whole conversation is very short. It's around 1 minute. So how to do that? So if you're a lower beginner or like a lower intermediate, I'll suggest you to start with, YouTube have one good function, right? It's a setting here, the play speed. So all those series are authentic native Chinese speaking in real situation. Like we try to create that. So we didn't slow it down because you're a Chinese learner. So when you're at that level, okay, you can play the speed with, I'll suggest the 0.75, the 3/4 one, to first start with. But if you're advanced, or if you try this a few times, you definitely need to go back to the normal one, okay? So that's your final target. So start with that. And then what I suggest you to do is first listen to this 1 minute of conversation all together, okay? Once to get the meaning of it, so it becomes comprehensive to you, you understand it. And second, okay, first the cycle of imitation. Our target is sentence by sentence. So listen to every sentence, stop. Okay, to produce your own ones. Ask for feedback from your teacher, from your friend, record it, compare, okay, whatever you can do. And then imitate a shadow. You don't need to go or like play the sentence again, shadow it. Okay, so that's the first cycle of the imitation. And then the second cycle is like half of the conversation. So it's at least one back and forth. So Vinny said something, Jackson replied. So use that as one circle. So you need to listen to that and then repeat the both two, and then shadow the both two together as well. Okay, and then last is like the whole conversation, which is about 1 minute. That's how you practice using the imitation techniques 3 times or to 5 times for the whole conversation. Okay, I think this one we can skip it, the Chinese part. It's like to explain like this one. And then the better imitation would be, the better one would be like you actually create your own stuff, right? Because those are like things you might not really use in your own life. So you actually have like one presentation you want to do in Chinese, or you have a dialogue you made with your Chinese friend. So you ask your teacher or ask your Chinese friend to create exactly their way of speaking this to you, and you use the imitation technique to practice until you get exactly the same thing like that. So that would be the next level. Then would you like to translate this part?
Yes. 如果你有如果你的朋友或者你的老师可以帮助你去建立一个他们平时说话的一个对话，它的一个语音内容，然后你去模仿一个真正的说话的一个场景，这样的话对你来说帮助会更大，然后会把你的发音带到下一个级别。
Okay, so this is about the very, very important sentence flow. This is the really important thing. But we do understand that like there's some like mistakes from the very beginning of the mispronunciation of the words, right? So sometimes it's not just the flow, it's also you really have some pronunciation which is wrong. And you have to correct that really with some help as well. Yeah, so this is our Beyond the series on YouTube. There's 247 now, so really use that. I think it's enough for you to practice for 6 months to 1 year actually. And then the one, like let's go to the foundations. So the alphabets, the pinyin, how to improve that. So I'll also tell you there's 2 steps. One is like to identify what are the alphabet, what are the incorrect pronunciations for you. So that's very important. We all know like the typical ones, the hard ones is 支持是支持是日, but in probably not your problems. Your own problem could be ow or or. So really get someone to assess that for you. So your friend, your teacher, or if you want, like we also have like a free assessment by our language consultant. So each one can entitle to have one. So maybe then you can help to post the link there as well. So if you want to use that free service, it's also okay. Every student can have one of that. And then second is like, I'm going to teach you like something you can improve your, we are using at the Go East when we help our students to correct those kind of long-term mistakes. We call it the progressive technique. So I'm going to show you how to do that as well.
接下来呢，我们要讲的回到我们的最基础的发音拼音的部分。那做拼音呢，我们今天也分成2个部分。第一个部分呢，就是怎么样能让你听得懂，一定要能听得懂，听得出哪一个是不正确的发音。如果你听得出来这个不正确的发音，你才能知道你是正确的发音是什么。然后第二个部分呢是循序渐进，一步一步的去学习。
So and the pronunciation like the ones like we actually also have a very comprehensive table for you to self-check. If you're more shy, you don't want to talk to a person. So I'm going to quickly show you that as well. So this is for like Go students and teachers to use when they want to check their pronunciation. But we can send to you guys if you want as well. If you want this one also, maybe then can you collect if somebody wants this one as well? Yeah.
Yes.
So this one is like it's all the content and the category of all the Chinese alphabets. And we're going to show you the techniques. And we also have example videos for you to follow as well. So you can use this one to self-check as well. And then, but today because we're almost at the time, so I just want to focus on the things you can use yourself as well. It's like, what is the progressive technique you can use as well? So the key thing is like, when you are focused on sentence flow, you focus on the whole sentence. But when you have this kind of mispronunciation for alphabets, you need to do vice versa. Okay, you need to start with words again, but not individual character, words. You need to start with words again, and then it becomes phrases, and then sentence, and then extended sentences. That's how we train our students, but you can deliberately use it yourself. Okay, let me give you an example here. Like let's example the simple one. This one, I know like 我是美国人, this one. The typical example here, like the mistake, the common mistake here, usually it's a lot of people would say 我是美国人. Like, okay, have you like based on our experience, this is like a lot of beginner will do. So first we need to summarize what's the key errors here. So of course there's like sentence flow, tone problems, right? But now we focus on the alphabet. So the problems here is the syllable, like the 是, it's very difficult to pronounce. The E sound, the 是 sound. So it will be to sh. And the next one, the most important is 国. the UO, the guo sound. A lot of people will reduce to the go. So that's like as a teacher, we want to focus. You focus on the key points first. It's not everything you want to correct at the same time. Otherwise, like your students will just get lost, like, or you will get lost. So how do we do this? So there's 6 steps. You can use this for yourself as well. Okay, 6 steps. Okay, so first starts with the 1, right? Really try to see like so the 是, right? The 是, like practice again, 我是 the 是, okay? And then the same, right? 美国 and then expand less like a word into phrase. Okay, the real meaning you want to do, right? Remember the sentence flow like chunk is very important. So you'll do 美国人, practice again and again, use the imitation technique, okay? Like listen, you repeat, okay, compare, say it's the same as your teacher or as the recording, and then do it with the sentence, okay, 我是美国人. That's your original sentence you're wrong with. But don't stop there. It's not enough. The next 2 steps are very important. You need to expand it. So one simple way is to add negative forms. So you can say now, correct, 我是美国人, because you practice again and again, like you're training your muscles there. But what if we add another word, negative? Can you do that too? So you need to like keep doing that. 我不是美国人. And use the same one, repeat the first 4 steps to really say that sentence right. And then construct their own, let's learn the sentence again to give you more complicated sentences. 我不是美国人, 我是中国人. 我不是美国人, 我是德国人. Like, because those ones you still have the 是 and the 国 sound, which is your problem. And then like keep building on those kind of learned sentences, but use those keywords. So this is the progress of technique we're using at Go East deliberately, but you can use it yourself as well. Okay, so last one I want to share you with also a technique, but it's like kind of beyond of just the pronunciation about learning Chinese. I still want to tell you, like, with all the techniques, everything, improve pronunciation is a journey. I'm not going to lie to you, like it's not a quick remedy we can give you either. But also I want to share with you to help you prepare the mindset and incorporate into your daily routines how to improve.
提高发音其实是一个漫长的过程，所以我们也会很直接的告诉你们，不是1天2天1个星期2个星期就能练习好的事情，所以我们要从小的变化开始，然后小的问题开始，然后慢慢把我们的发音提高的更加的标准。
And then this one is like a series from the him Omer's like a book, right? Like the small change that change everything. So there's 4 steps you follow here as well. It's the one like to cue, to craving, to response, and to reward. So like if you want to really improve your pronunciation, you can use this technique as well. So what is a cue? Is to choose a specific trigger that reminds you need to practice your Chinese pronunciation regularly. So the trigger could be like you wake up or before you go into bed, or like every time when you commute, or like every Wednesday, just like use a fixed time as a reminder would be okay. Every Wednesday you're having a Chinese lesson. Before the Chinese lesson, you need to get your muscle, to stretch your muscle.
第一个就是第一个部分的话，我们一定是要给自己一个这样的一个固定的一个点，那就是我们可以选择一个能够一个固定的时间，或者是一个固定的一个时程安排。那我像你睡觉之前，你在每个星期3或者是每天吃完饭之后，你可以选择一个固定的时间来做这件事情。
And the second one is the craving, like you really need to have the desire, like you want to improve your pronunciation. So just think about how good it will be when you can express yourself clearly and understood by all the native speakers instead of including the taxi driver, the IE, not just your teacher, right, or your friends. And you can also think about like all the opportunities you will get when you improve your Chinese skills to that level, job opportunities, to travel more easily in China, to have a deeper connection of the friendship.
那第二点呢，就是你的渴望，你的目标感，是不是特别想要提高你的中文发音？那可以去想一想你的接下来的人生规划，你的工作的机会，你结交更多好朋友的机会，你的社交圈扩大的机会。
And the third one is a response, like you need to decide on a specific action that you will take when the two occurs. So for example, when you before you go into bed, you will use the imitation technique we just told you, right? On one goes beyond the video for just 10 minutes. Or like every Wednesday, you will definitely schedule a lesson because that like sometimes like you just don't want to do it, but like you have to schedule a lesson. Thus consistency will be very important. Or like every weekend, like when the weekend arrives, like you will start a language exchange with someone.
第三点呢，就是一定要有行动。那这个行动就是一定要把你的这个行动做出来。不管你是去上一节课，然后呢，你去和一个好朋友进行一个语言交换的一个练习，或者是你来做一个模仿的一个练习，但是一定要有行动。
And then I know you guys are all very self-disciplined, probably ambitious. But I also want to remind you guys, don't forget about the reward part. This is very important when you can do this again and again. Like give yourself a reward for when you're completing the response, like do something good. Learning language is not an easy thing, right? It's not everybody can do it. Like really, it could be something very small, right? A candy, a chocolate bar, like this guilty food. Like it's okay. Or you can reward yourself to go to a KTV, like if you did less for a week or 2 weeks, right? Or a big treat. If you did less for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, you're going to China, you reward yourself a trip to China. Now China is open up.
对，那你在做了前面3个步骤，第4点一定不要忘记了给自己一些奖励。那当你在做了一些事情之后呢，一定要让自己有一个成就感。所以你可以奖励自己，可以奖励自己一些小的一个糖果，或者是你可以出去玩，看个电影，去 KTV 吃一顿美食或者你也可以选择来到中国进行一个深度旅游，了解更多中国的文化和看到中国的美景。
Okay, talking about trip to China, I do have something like I want you guys to know, to share with you. It's like we actually have the trip, like our new after 3 years of pandemic, we are back the Ghost China Quest 2023. So it's in the summer. We have 3 quests for you. You can either come to Shanghai, or you can go to a village with us, or you can go to Xi'an with us, and everything would be taken care of by us, from visa application to accommodation to transportation. So if you're interested in less, like you can, feel free to talk to our language consultant about this program. Also, I can also send you the link here if you're interested as well.
那我们在2023年 Go East 组织了我们的夏令营。那在2023年，中国的边境也开放了，然后大家呢可以来到中国，来到上海，你可以选择在上海和我们一起，可以去到中国的农村，也可以去到西安一个古老的都城。
好的， So that's all for today's presentation. I hope you find that a lot of things are helpful. And okay, yeah, and then Lucas said like the link is not working. Okay, So all like do we have language consultants here? Like if you are interested, you can leave Lynn is here. Lynn is here. Like you can also talk to them as well. Yeah. Yeah, and you have questions, I'll stay a few more minutes. If you have personal questions, I'll be very happy to answer as well. But we will send a follow-up email concluding all the presentation and the videos and the things we think will be helpful to you guys as well. And our next event is about famous female Chinese, the inspiration like stories from ghost teachers, like ghosts are like teachers idols in history and China, in China, the females. So hopefully you guys can join that one as well. It will still be bilingual. 好，谢谢大家。好，再见。
再见。
老师。
再见。好，你好。
首先我想跟老师们说非常感谢。我觉得这个课非常有用，特别是那个第三声的问题，因为我们所有的学习汉语的同学们开始学习的时候就学到那个比如说马或者你或者我，然后我就是3年前发现了这个问题。
你也发现了？
对，就是3年前呢看了一个 YouTube 上的视频，然后就发现了我差不多每次说的不标准，然后我还记得我的前女友跟我说，哎呀，你的2声3声都一样，都听不清楚然后我就不知道为什么发生了这个问题，所以说我觉得这个很重要。然后呢，我想问老师们背这个词，因为有呢，有吧，有呀啊，对啊，这样还有什么背，对吧？可不可以？对，可不可以说背这个词也是一个怎么说？是赵老师说的，对，语气词是吧？
对，
语气词。
语气不是语气，是语气。
语气词。
也是这样的词吗？
对，所以它首先它不是背，对吧？因为它是个语气词，所以它一定是 subtle 和 soften。对，背，就你不要说背背是的，这是一个的。这应该是有一个地方特色的语气词 ，original particle。
明白了。
对，它在哪个地方是更常用的？
它是偏北方一点的吧？
它不是一个nationwide 的语气词，它是一个 original 所以可能跟你前女友来的地方有关系，所以这是为什么我们没有把它放进去。That's why we didn't really include it in the list。
明白了。我也只想说还有第一个问题就是比如说就是那个这样这些 fillers， 我不知道用中文怎么说。我觉得这些词也这些一些说法也非常重要。对，老师们有没有一些内容，一些 PPT 什么的，可以看看这些。首先然后呢，最后这样，因为我觉得我的词汇量不够大，我每次说然后呢，然后最后就是这样。
明白。
还有一些吗？
对，我本来把 fillers 放进去了， 就我本来想说也跟大家说一说 fillers，然后觉得时间可能会，其实时间已经超了就是 would be too much content for everybody，但是我们想对，这个是很重要的，其实它有好的 fillers 和不好的 fillers，我们想告诉大家，并不是所有的 fillers 都是好的。如果你想要的是一个就是你是比较 smart，when you speak Chinese you're still smart。Like some fillers you shouldn't pick up. It's not like everybody is a good like speaker, even if for native speakers, right? 所以就是我们想告诉大家是有些是好的 fillers 你要 pick up，有些是不好的你其实要 drop or like from very beginning just like don't learn it 这个我们可以下次讲一讲，或者我们可以给你发我们的一些资料。
哪一些 fillers 这么说，这么表达，就是汉语里 fillers 这么说。
如果是不好的，我们想要你们不要的其实是口头禅，这个是我们想要不要的，这个是不好的然后好的我们叫做连接语，这个是我们想要你
连接就是 link 的意思 connect。
对，
所以口头禅我们是希望不要的，比如说其实是口头禅，你其实是应该不要的但是连接语，比如说话说回来，总的来说接下来我想告诉大家的是就是这些，
对，总的来说很好，
这些是要的。
好，谢谢老师，
不客气。好，那我们谢谢大家，我们下次再见。
好，辛苦了再见。